Hi, and welcome to Simply Happy Conversations. I'm Narelle King, and in this Simply Happy conversation, I'm talking with Charlotte from the Happiest Stigma Co. She's the author of 2 children's books, a life coach, and a podcast host of the Happiest Stigma Co. Charlotte shares her inspiration behind writing her books, ways to help break the stigma around mental health, and ways to prioritise mental health. This conversation is a video recording that you can watch on YouTube. Let's jump into this Simply Happy guest conversation. Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations. I'm Narelle King, wellness and organisational coach and Yin and Nidra yoga instructor. This podcast will help you create more time using organisational strategies so that you can start to simplify your life and prioritise your health. I'll be sharing conversations with other health and organisational experts and solo episodes with tips to help you simplify your life and prioritise your health. Today on Simply Happy Conversations, I have with me Charlotte from the Happiest Stigma Co. She is a podcast host. She's an author of children's books, as well as a life coach. Welcome, Charlotte.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, thank you for coming on and finding the time to, especially the time difference, and to be able to come and chat. So I'd love for you to talk about the things that you like to do outside of work.
So outside of work, when I have time.
Yes.
So I'm a mum of 2. So mum of 2 boys. I work and I'm at uni as well. So I'm studying psychological science. But really, when I have time, I guess, I just really like to spend as much time as I can with my boys and really try and unwind and just try and relax as much as I can. I'm a big Lego fan. So Lego is a big thing in our household. So yeah, just try and find the time and just spend as much time as I can with my boys, I think is the main thing, and get outdoors when the weather permits, of course, not in winter, but just try and get as much fresh air and stuff as possible.
So do you boys enjoy Lego as well?
They love it. So I've got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they are massive fans. So they they have like a whole Lego table and containers and all that sort of stuff, and they love building it. I have obviously my adult Lego that they're not allowed to touch because it doesn't come apart. But yeah, it's a thing that we all find, that we love doing together.
And so what does your storage look like? Do you have it color-coded? Do you do it by shape, or it's just all together in a mix?
No, it's color-coded.
Yeah.
You had it first point. So I've got clear containers for them with the colors as close as I can as possible. Does it last like that? Absolutely not. They've got a Lego table that's like a mile high of Lego. It's like a little mountain. But normally, they have like little boxes with little color coding in it and stuff. That's just where my OCD comes out very easily, where it has to be sorted. It doesn't last.
It makes it so much easier, though, to then be able to build what you need and find the little pieces and stuff.
That's exactly what I said to them. I was like, it's organized. You know what colors you need. You're not searching. Yeah, but Mum, we want to build, and then, we have to pack it away. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm not going to do it for you. But I ended up doing it anyway. So,
yes, that's what my daughter was like. She was the Lego in colors, and my son was like, "No, just mix it all together." So
you're like, no, I can't. I can't handle that. No.
So then, tell us about your books and how you came to write 2 children's books.
So, all started probably about 2 or 3 years ago. Honestly, if you said to me 5 years ago that I was going to be an author at this time in my life, I would have said you're joking. I'm dyslexic. I have a few mental health disorders, and I'm ADHD as well. So for me, a children's author was definitely not on the cards for myself. But as I said, I suffer with really bad anxiety, and I have for a very long time. And my boys are avid readers as well, and I really found it hard to find something about motherhood anxiety, explaining it to them. So I did the research. There was heaps of adult books for mums out there. There was heaps of kids books explaining their feelings and that sort of stuff. But there was nothing at the time explaining motherhood anxiety to children in the words of anxiety. So not sugarcoating it or anything like that, just trying to be as open and honest as possible. So I just wrote my own. So that was Mummy Will Be Okay. And then my second book, Superheroes Will Be Okay, is more around, I guess, emotional regulation, but from a male perspective. So trying to break that stigma of male, mental health issues as well, not talking about things and stuff like that. So I really wrote my first book really for my boys. They were the main people I've written them for.
Yeah. And I haven't actually physically held your books to have a look, but do you have like a little dedication in the front? Like, does it have some information about you and why you came to write the books as well? Your story?
Not in my books, but on my website,
yeah.
I do. In my books, so my first one's dedicated, of course, to my boys, and the second one's dedicated to, I guess, all the wonderful men and fathers in my life that have really impacted and made me who I am. So, but yeah, on my website, I write more about what I sort of, I guess, came to the realization why I needed to write this book.
Yeah, I love, though, that you're so honest and share about the dyslexia as well, to give those children a role model that, because they're growing up hearing, oh, you can't write, you can't read, when look at this, there's role models out here who have overcome the challenges, and you're a writer, you're an author now. So, yeah. And I know my son's just recently had a diagnosis of dyslexia, and we're working through that at the moment. So hearing that, I know to him will be very inspirational.
Yeah. And I think as well with my dyslexia diagnosis, it wasn't until year 12 at school. Okay. So it was very late at school. And looking back, there was a few, I guess, signs that there was an issue, but it kind of got ignored. So, being picked up at year 12, and I really find that's been a hard point in my life to sort of get past, like a hard obstacle, because I've had where it could have been diagnosed earlier and sort of rectified a little bit. Well, I do notice that it has spiraled into my adult life a little bit more. And I just really want to, there's famous actors out there that are dyslexic and, they're making multi-million-dollar movies. And it's another thing that I want to show people, that even if they have dyslexia or mental health or anything like that, they're not alone, and then they can still achieve what they want to achieve.
Yeah, I love that. I love hearing people and the openness that you're sharing around those challenges, so that, other people can be inspired by your story. Which is great. So then talk about the breaking down of stigma around mental health. And I know because your podcast, taps into that as well, which is great. But how we can be breaking down some of those stigmas in the community around mental health.
Yeah,
and books obviously is a great example too.
Yeah, so with regards to that stigma, with any mental health, there's a negative stigma behind it. So a lot of people don't like talking about mental health issues. They don't like opening up that conversation. They kind of push it under the rug. And some of that is from generational trauma and, generational stigma as well, that, 20 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about any mental health issues. And I think that is such a hard thing to break. So I think more and more people, if they open up about what they're going through and open up the conversation in regards to their feelings, or, that they're having a bad day or anything like that, will really help make mental health normal. Because having a mental health issue, whether you deal with it your whole life or for a few years, or, because, you've had an event in your life that's you're not able to cope with, that's okay. It's about knowing what to look out for, what support you have, and just normalizing it. So I didn't want my boys, and, men's mental health is a big issue these days. 1 in 5 Australians are going to have a mental health issue, or be diagnosed with a mental health condition within their lives. So that's a big number.
That's huge, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's only the reported people that go to their GP and ask for help, or go to a service like Lifeline or something like that. So that number could be greater. It could be 1 in 2, 1 in 3. We don't know. And I didn't want my boys to be raised in a society where they're not going to be talking about their feelings, they're not going to be opening up, and they're going to be shutting down and that sort of stuff. And that's what I wanted to try and break. But it is very hard because, you know, some people don't want to talk about mental health, or they don't want to admit that they might need some help. And it's not a bad thing that you need some help sometimes. It's about accepting that help as well. So it's, you know, if I can help one person, I feel like I've done my job.
Oh, you definitely have. And I'm sure you've helped more than one person, especially through creating 2 beautiful books that are also helping to break that stigma as well.
Yeah. And I think as well, another reason why I wrote it is because obviously, you know, I'm a mum, and in motherhood, I feel like, you know, you have your baby, you go to your health nurse, and then that's it. You're made to navigate this world on your own. And especially if it's your first baby, it's very scary. And it's about normalizing that, you know, if you're not okay, that's normal. It's all right not to be okay all the time. It's all right to get angry. It's all right to get frustrated. Again, it's about normalizing that.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a great tip as well. So what would be your tips around prioritizing mental health then?
To be honest, it's about recognizing your needs as well. I think that needs to be your first priority, because you're not any good to anyone else if you're not okay first. So if your mental health is struggling, you're no good to your family or no good to your friends and stuff like that unless you're okay first. But it's also about really noticing if someone does need help, or, you know, just asking the question, are you okay? That can be a massive step. So really, I think my main tips would be just, you know, checking in with people, making sure, you know, a phone call, a text every so often, checking in, but also checking in with yourself. So self-care is a big thing that I try and promote, because again, if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after other people. So self-care is a big thing, whether it's taking a walk, reading a book, you know, doing meditation, whatever works for you. Now, I know personally meditation does not work for me. As I said, I've got ADHD. I cannot sit still. So like at the moment, I've got my hands in my jumper pocket so they're not like, you know, waving around everywhere. I swear I've got like Italian in my blood somewhere, which I actually don't, but my hands fly everywhere. But that's just me. I can't sit still. I can't, you know, I find it very hard to switch my brain off. So I've got to find something that works for me. Now, what works for me? Music. That really helps me just unwind, or at least it helps me to focus. So I know if I need to do cleaning, or if I need to do, you know, something around the house, if I put music on, I'll get it done. So you've got to find something that works for you. So self-care is the main one, but I think as well is just looking out for everyone, looking out for each other. You know, you're looking out for your kids. Now, I found communication is key. Like my oldest is 6. Since we have sort of merged onto a path where I'm very open with my kids, the last probably year or so, I've been more open as much as I can. Now, yes, there are some things we need to shield our children from. Absolutely. Our feelings and emotions shouldn't be one of them. So, you know, I communicate with my boys when I'm very overwhelmed or very overstimulated or getting annoyed or, you know, getting upset. Like it, you know, my boys have seen me crying on the floor in the kitchen because it's got too much for the day. And my 6-year-old now notices when I'm overstimulated, and he asks me, Mummy, are you getting overstimulated?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I am. I need a minute, and he'll give me a minute, or he'll notice. Like, and for me, I'm so proud of him knowing that information at 6 years old. And, you know, if we keep moving on the path that we are, what he's going to be able to achieve and help people with in the future. So I think just mainly looking after you, looking out for each other, but communication is important as well.
Oh, definitely. I love that point that you just brought up and sharing with our children, because I know the same, having sensory overwhelm and too many competing noises in the morning when I've just, got up, but I've maybe gone and exercised, but get home, I do not cope. And that's when I'll be, guys, I just need this space. And they'll straight away turn the music off or the TV off, or all of them that they've all put on for their own needs. We've all got completely competing different needs, but it's having that conversation and talking and explaining, this is what I need. And this is, I know what they need as well. And they are very different, but it's being open with them, isn't it? So that they've got that awareness of us, as well as in the future with other people that they've got relationships with, friendships with, that they'll be able to recognize those things, isn't it? Like that tip of the iceberg, maybe the anger, but what is it that's underlying in that, the bigger picture underneath? What emotion is that's fueling that, that anger? And then what about sleep for you? How do you find sleep? Because I know for myself, the ADHD brain, does not switch off very well. It does some days. I'm getting better, but that was through doing yoga and nidra yoga. And again, it's taken a long time, but it is working. I can't do like it's more of a visual meditation, so it actually works for me. But whereas if I just have to listen and not visualize where it's going in my body, I struggle as well. So it's taken a lot of time. But for you, what are those sort of sleep things that have helped you with sleep?
So sleep for me is, as you said, it can be very hard sometimes. So really switching that brain off. For me, my brain runs at 1,000 miles an hour. It just doesn't stop, processing stuff and everything. I really find sleep stories work for me. So really those stories in your head, again, that you can visualize. And I find that once I visualize a story or something like that, my brain just focuses on that, which is really helpful. But I think as well, really finding that niche of what works for you when you sleep. But sleep stories works for me, absolutely. Again, tried the meditation, the music, or, the sleep sounds and stuff, but everyone's different. So, I know I have a friend that listens to thunderstorms to go to sleep. I was like, no, I can't do that. No way at all. But sleep stories really works for me. Like I know I use the Calm app, and I've got, I think there's some stories on the Headspace one, but Calm is the best thing I've found.
That's beautiful. So having those sleep rituals for you at nighttime just to help calm your brain down, have really helped. Is there any other things that you do around your sleep?
I think just not putting an emphasis on that I have to get a certain amount of sleep every night. I think that helped take a bit of pressure off as well. So I was finding that I was putting so much focus on my body going, right, I need to go to bed at this time and I need to do that. And I think really taking that away helped as well. So really going, well, no, my brain will wind down and I'll go to sleep. Yes, I might be a bit tired the next day, but my brain has wound down from the day and then I can get some sleep. So taking that emphasis off that I have to get 8 hours a night or something like that, my mind doesn't work like that sometimes. So that's really helped me as well.
Yeah, that's a great tip as well. I know for me, it's been the change of light globes to the no blue light globe in our room and in my kids' rooms has helped to just get our body ready for sleep. That was an extra thing that I've only just started doing this year, and that's actually helping as well. Because it is really difficult to wind down with an ADHD brain that loves to just keep going and
doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. I'm so glad that yes, you completely get what my brain is doing and what it's like at nighttime. So, is there anything else that you wanted to share around mental health or helping people with their mental health in the community?
I think just really trying to open up that conversation, I think is the most important thing. Looking out for your friends, your family, and also if you see someone struggling and you're not sure what to do, there's so many resources out there for you as well. So you can go to your GP and ask about how can I support a family member or your partner? You've got Lifeline, Beyond Blue, and all of those platforms now also have options where you can just message someone on your computer or on your phone. You can SMS. You've got all those options now as well. So you don't have to call if you're not comfortable. So I think just really knowing that those resources are out there, and, especially with mothers these days, you're not alone. It's a hard, life, and it's a hard start to life if you're not got the tools and, everything that you need all in one. And if kids came with manuals, it'd be so much easier, but they don't.
They don't.
And just knowing that you're not alone, there are people out there and the support groups out there that can help you, but just, look after you, prioritize you. Self-care isn't just as important as looking after your family. Take some time for you, and even if you have to say to your partner, I'm going out for 5 minutes, go. You've got to do you as well.
Yeah.
But communication, I think, is the most important.
Yeah. Yeah. And that connection with people around you. And you're so lucky now that we've got like our phone, with so many places that we can connect with people, Facebook groups. There wasn't that sort of thing around when my daughter was born. So it was local community, whereas now we've got so much diversity online that we can connect with and use it for good, not the negativity that we're always focused on. So how
and
can
I think,
people, sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right. I think as well, because of because of COVID, a positive that's come out of COVID is more this digital age. So we're more like, we're talking face-to-face over Zoom, via Zoom, but face-to-face as such, but there's more of a digital emphasis on communication as well. And I think that's actually a positive thing, the only positive thing that's come out of COVID. But that's really helped connect people in a different way.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And all over the world, not just in your local community, which is great, especially if you've got, varied interests. You can find someone, a friend anywhere in the world, can't you?
Absolutely.
So how can people find you, and how can people find your books as well?
Yep. So you can just go to my website. So it's www.thehappinessstigmaco.com. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, just at the Happiness Stigma Co.
And your podcast as well, isn't it?
Yes, that is on there as well. But yeah, you can find all the information mainly on my website.
And I'll include links to that in the show notes. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for your time today, and all your information that you've shared around mental health.
No, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's Simply Happy conversation. If you'd like a clutter-free home and clear mental space to be able to focus and get stuff done, then join me for an introduction to Yin Yoga. These Yin Yoga shapes have been selected to balance your base and heart chakra, so that you feel grounded, supported, accepted and connected, and can reduce mental and physical clutter in your life. Get immediate access to the free short videos and take the first step towards a clutter-free home and mind. Head to simplyhappy.com.au in the resource section and start today. I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people of the Kulin Nation on which this podcast is recorded as the traditional custodians of the land. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.